Hi everyone, Renae here again from Awaken the Infinite, and welcome to the second video for the Awaken the Infinite blog. Again, this will be super raw. I'm not going to be editing, cutting, doing a second take. Whatever comes out will be perfect, and that is an intention that I set for myself so that I don't get over perfectionist on this blog, and also for you guys so that you see a real person presenting what they have learnt and hopefully helping you in one way or another. Today's topic is going quite specific considering it's only the second blog in, but I felt really guided or perhaps inspired on the weekend to share this. It was an experience that I had following a really busy weekend. So I had a photo shoot on Saturday, which was amazing for the meditation groups. Thanks again to Danielle from Danielle Nicole Photography. She was amazing. Followed by a birthday on Saturday night in a bar, and then a long shift while it was raining at a fruit and vegetable marketplace, as well as hosting meditation groups. So it was a big weekend and I really enjoyed it, but I find after doing multiple things, one after the other, I kind of lose sense of my own space, my own person, my own energy field. And I might use a few categories, even though I'm not a huge fan of putting people into boxes. Maybe you might identify with some of these terms. So maybe I should backtrack a bit here. Basically, my whole life, I think I've been quite attuned to the energies of people around me, perhaps even emotions, more so now that I'm tuning into it specifically for a purpose, but the emotions and energies of people and places around me. So if you can relate, perhaps you walk into a busy train station or a train, a plane, maybe like at the end of a party you just can't wind down because you're so wired on the energy from the night. Or maybe you can feel that, a peace when you're in a group of people doing yoga or meditation that is beyond yourself. It's like the room is holding that. Or maybe you're playing sport and you can feel that achievement of that team, or you're feeling one almost. So today's video will be talking a little bit about how to deal with reducing the impact of outside energies on the body when they accumulate over time. So I hope this is making sense so far, and I'll go back to my initial intention of explaining perhaps categories that you feel you might tick the box of, or perhaps you've wondered about before or been curious about. So perhaps some terms could be empath, which is what people would term when you can feel other people's physical ailments or situations or their emotions. So for example, maybe someone's feeling anxious, or they're very happy, or they're very angry, and walking into that room while they're embodying that strong emotion, you might go, oh wow, I can feel that. Or maybe you just intuitively know what they're feeling. And then in the physical sense, perhaps a person might have a sore leg, or tension in their shoulders, or a cold, and suddenly you have those symptoms, or you can identify where that is coming from in their body. So that might be one area that you feel you might be dealing with or haven't quite identified, but feel it might be a bit true for you. Another area would be highly sensitive, which is kind of similar to being empathic, or empathic people can be highly sensitive very, very often, more than not. But highly sensitive, you might find that, for example, for me, when I worked in office spaces, high artificial lighting, no fresh air, lots of people, pollution, or, just not having much access to the natural environment, that might be very overwhelming for your senses. So highly sensitive being that you're receiving and picking up on more information than perhaps the average person. And you're processing that at a much quicker rate in order to take it all in. So at the end of a high sensory day, like working in an office or in the city, or maybe being out on the town, that might be quite overwhelming for you, and you might find the next day you're just completely needing to recuperate. So those two are the two terms that started to spike my interest when I started to realise that I was being affected by my surroundings and things beyond my own body. Another term, I guess, which is much more commonly used, introvert. So if you feel that you're an introvert and perhaps after a big week you're just like, you need to go into a cave or your own personal cave and just watch TV for many, many hours on end, but perhaps you don't feel like you're making that maybe you don't feel like you're refreshing as quickly as you could. I certainly know that after that busy weekend that I referred to earlier, by the end of the Sunday night, I watched TV for about 5 hours straight, which I never do. And I was kind of avoiding my own energy field, what was all the clutter that I had accumulated from my busy weekend. Just this discomfort, almost like I didn't know myself again. And I experienced that phenomenon, I would say, over my whole life. Like during high school, I felt like I wasn't a constant person because I would be forever picking up vibrations and energies and emotions from my environments. So sometimes I'd get into like a rolling schedule because I couldn't sit with myself because I had so much going on that I didn't understand. So yeah, perhaps you do the same occasionally and you say watch TV for many, many hours or eat food so that you don't feel this discomfort of not knowing what to do with your own energy field. Come Monday morning, that's when I guess I'll explain what it feels like to be overwhelmed with energetic clutter. That's one term, I guess people might describe it as different things. But by Monday morning, it's almost this feeling of like grey matter or a black cloud or very heavy energy. So like dark colours, almost like it's coming in, and there's less awareness from inside. It's almost like you've lost sense of your core self. You're kind of so cluttered with all this stuff that it's very hard to, like, maybe decision making would be harder. Day-to-day things like, maybe you can relate on your own level there. And perhaps even, I know that when I've been in down points in my life, or perhaps the people around me, that when people say they're depressed, they get that black cloud feeling or that grey matter feeling and that sense of loss of identity. So it would be interesting to trial in yourself, if you feel like you experience bouts of depression, whether you can shift some energy around you. So in saying that, let's get started. If you feel like this is an area that you would like to explore, or that maybe it's just piqued your interest, or maybe it really resonates with you. I know as I was growing up, if I'd found information on this, if I was ready to hear it, then it would have helped me a lot in all facets, my health, my confidence, all sorts of things. So I really, really, really hope that this hits home for you, or that it helps you in some way, or maybe even you can show it to someone that that is, that you're reminded of when watching this video. Let's begin. Basically, watch this video at any point that you feel you might be cluttered, or you've had a busy day, a busy weekend, or you're just feeling like you haven't quite mastered your space for that day, in a sense. Or you can even try it now. You might feel a shift in how you feel after the techniques are used, even if you feel like you don't have much going on outside of you at the moment. So we're going to start off by centering and grounding. So this is almost half of the work, like almost reclaiming your space. So it's setting that intention. Yes, I'm going to bring my own space back in. I'm going to breathe into my own space. And almost like we're using that contrast, if this is all grey and black matter, or energy that isn't ours, then we're bringing our light and the whiteness of our inner world as large and as strong as possible. So we're going to be breathing into our body and creating that light again, or whatever colour intuitively comes to you. It might not be white. You might have a different colour that makes you feel like yourself. So we're going to be taking a few deep breaths now. Just becoming aware of the space inside your body. Letting that white, or whatever colour that is, expand to the edges of your skin. You might notice that I'm breathing quite deeply. This is because we're bringing in new energy and letting go of old energy. So staying with that process until you get a sense that your inner world, or your light inside, is as bright as it perhaps can be today, all the way out to the edges of your skin. And from here, we're going to be drawing all of our own energy, or however you want to think of that, basically creating a strength within ourselves by using a visualization. So we're going to be visualizing a sun above our head, and this sun is acting like a magnet. So let that visualization do the work here. You don't have to do anything. You just have to hold that trust and that belief that this visualization can bring your energy in again towards you. So maybe taking one more deep breath, closing your eyes if that's most comfortable for you. I prefer to visualize with my eyes closed. And imagine a beautiful golden yellow sun above your head, so it can be as big as you like. It's bold, it's strong, it's three-dimensional perhaps. And easily and effortlessly, this sun is drawing in all facets of yourself, everything that's yours. We're no longer leaving any parts of ourselves in situations with other people. It's like we're bringing all of our attention, all of our own energy back in. So we're letting that come very easily. As mentioned before, we're just placing belief and trust in this sun, knowing that it's a magnet for our own energy. And that's easily just coming back in, almost like it can jump through into our body from outside. And everything else that isn't ours is not aligned or a vibration with this sun. So you might even like to begin to just set that intention to shift anything that is not in line with the vibration of this sun and with your own energy field. So you might feel things shifting. And don't be scared of this process. There might be some discomforts that arise from the shifting of old energy or other people's energy, or energy from your environments. Sitting behind anything that's coming up as you're holding that sun and letting anything shift that is not in line with the vibration of that sun. And stay with this process until you feel almost like a peace has come about, or maybe energy has stopped shifting. For me, it's still going, so if you do feel like you're done, perhaps deep breathe for a few breaths. But I'll trust that however long this needs to happen for me, perhaps it will serve the people watching as well. We will continue with a few more techniques, so I will go on to the next technique, even though not everything has shifted within me. One more thing to note before moving to the next technique. It's a really nice thing to acknowledge maybe next time you do this exercise, or even now, checking in with how your eyes look. So you might feel, you might not feel, you'll perhaps see that your eyes are cloudy, or your pupils look different, as opposed to at the end, you'll have a very, like a sparkle to your eye, or very clear vision. The eyes are definitely attuned with how everything is going on in your body. I often find that before and after in meditation groups, people look much brighter in their eyes, and that's a good indication that you're holding your energy in your own space within when your eyes are bright. And a good practice to do in the morning as well, to see where you're at, and if perhaps you need to take half an hour to do some yoga, or go get some fresh air, do some exercise, etc. But that is a total tangent, and we'll go back to different techniques now. So this next one is a little bit more intricate, but I find it super, super effective. And I learnt it from a holistic coach that I worked not closely with. As much as I did, it was really enjoyable over the last year or two. So it's called Merkaba, although that's not really important. What is important is the actual visualization itself. So we're imagining a 10-pointed star. So it goes 4 points at the base, like a square, and heads up to a triangle point at the top of the head, and it's a golden white light. And then we've got 4 points around our body, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and it points down between our feet. So we've got a three-dimensional triangle coming up to point at our head, and a three-dimensional triangle starting here and pointing down towards the earth. So you might already start to feel things shifting. It's a really beautiful feeling, this one. So we've got golden white light now pouring through us all the way from the earth, with the 4 points grounding us there and going out through the crown of our head. So let that point be beyond your scalp. Let it be above the scalp, and let the sides of this triangle cover every part of your body. So let the triangle be wide enough so that every part of your skin and your body is being enveloped by this visualization. And we've also got a 3-dimensional triangle in the 4 corners around our shoulders, and that's heading towards the earth at its point. So everything is covered now by this 10-pointed star. So putting those 2 triangle visualizations together, you've got a 10-pointed star. Hold that space, hold that golden white light. Let it go beyond the skin, so include every single facet of your body, and let anything shift. You might feel some discomforts arising or some shifting of energy or emotion in the body. Sit behind that and let it move as it needs to move. Even if you've got big clumps of energy or particular points, give over these energies and these sensations to the visualization now. You might feel like these sensations are travelling out through the crown very easily now. Like there's a pull above your head or below the earth, whichever way those sensations and tensions are releasing is perfect. And we'll finish off by imagining that a golden white egg, or just a golden egg even, of very bright light, is covering that entire visualization. So it's going beyond the star, beyond those 2 3-dimensional triangles, and it's covering our entire body from about a foot above our head, perhaps, if that feels right for you, all the way around, perhaps to a foot in front and behind us, in our torso, and it's connecting below our feet. So every single part of our body now is being absorbed or encompassed by this visualization. And let everything shift that needs to shift. You might become aware of little pulls, little sensations. And if you need to visualize like pulling anything, or I know that sounds really strange, but I encourage people in meditations, if they feel like there's energy or discomforts that are stuck, for example, I can feel something here, you could visualize that you could pluck that and throw it away. It's almost like we're giving that energy permission, or that sensation permission to leave. We're acknowledging it, and then we're saying, thank you, I no longer need you, kind of thing, if that works for you. And the last technique is a very powerful technique to get your power into your body again. So I'm mentioning this because I can feel there is a cord to my body. So these metaphoric or energetic cords, you don't have to do this process if you don't want to, but it certainly helps me when I've had a busy week and I've maybe been giving a lot. These metaphoric cords can connect us to people, places and things in our experience, and draw our power from the present moment and from our bodies. So you can get golden scissors if you'd like. You might feel pulls. I've got another one in my back. You might feel a pull, or almost like it's almost an icky feeling, like a discomfort. So you're getting those golden scissors now, and you're just identifying where those areas are. And it doesn't mean that we don't love these people. Like, they might be your best friends on the other side of these metaphoric cords. They might be your mum, your daughter. It doesn't matter. You can love them unconditionally regardless of cutting these cords. It just says, I'm responsible for my own energy field, and you are as well. And we're on different paths. We can get there with our own inner power, basically. So you're giving over trust that you can look after your own body, and that person or that situation can also look after itself. So going back to acknowledging where those pulls or those tensions might be, and using those golden scissors to cut those cords away. You might even use something stronger than that. It does on a word level sound crazy, but even a guillotine or any kind of straight utensil that can just cut down both sides of your body, cut down in front and behind, or above and below, if that feels right for you. So we're just bringing all of our power back into our body, into the present moment, away from past situations, future situations, and people. Cords are often created when we're giving to people, or when they feel like they can't cope without someone, for example. So it's definitely, you know, not everyone's ready to cut cords straight away. And if you'd like more information on that, then I'd be more than happy to share more on cord cutting with you. So we'll finish off now. You might feel like there's a few things left to shift. So use any of those techniques that we've used so far. The sun above the head, the Merkaba 10-pointed star, you can visualize that again with the egg around that. So keep shifting until you feel like you've got completely clear space inside and around you. And you can continue to cut any cords that come up for you as well. It's almost having a toolkit for coming back to your own energy field. And if you'd like to continue, I know I keep saying it's the last one, but this really is the last one. I'm only doing it because I'm still not quite clear, and that to me is an indication that there's perhaps more techniques that I can share with you. This one is similar to the cord cutting, but it's a more direct way to send those energies or those cords out of our body. So we're first aligning the energy of our own body from the bottom of our spine all the way up to above the head, above the crown. So we've got a purple star above the head, a purple star at the third eye or at the forehead, a purple star at the heart center, a purple star at the stomach, the belly button, and the base of the spine as well. So we have 5 purple stars, violet stars. So close your eyes now and visualize these 5 stars above the head, the forehead, the heart, the belly button, and at the bottom of the spine. And this purple lilac white light is just moving through from the base of your body all the way up to the top of your head through the crown. So we're just holding our own power by doing this. And if you'd like to follow my words or say something similar to, I now dissolve and disintegrate all contracts of permission I've ever given, and hold that purple light there, consciously or unconsciously, to any being, entity or energy to be attached or within my own energy field through all time and space. And then you hold pink white light in front of you, so it's unconditional love. So any dark matter or energies that aren't your own, they don't know the difference. They feel safe going to this pink white light, and we're sending them out of our body. So we're saying to all beings, entities, inclusions, and energies that are now leaving my energy field, you'll feel safe and loved in this pink light, and let these now travel out through the heart or perhaps even through the stomach or the belly button. Hold that pink light. You must leave my energy field permanently now, and through the power of my own free will. So we're holding that pink white light in front of us. Perhaps even that pink light goes all the way up to the top of the head and all the way to the earth. So there's a big space now for anything that isn't yours or that you no longer need to just release out of the body. You might like to couple with this exercise the visualization of a vacuum cleaner, which is an energy vacuum cleaner, at the top of your head, and it's suctioning out any energies that might be a little bit more defiant, if that's the right word. I shouldn't use big English words in a blog without confirming their meaning. So placing that vacuum cleaner at the top of the head, or placing almost like you can go internally with that vacuum cleaner. It doesn't have to be very elaborate in its visualization. It can be quite simple. And you can choose the speed at which this vacuum cleaner operates and go right to the core of any discomforts or energies that feel stuck or like they aren't shifting. And complete trust in the life force of that vacuum cleaner. So we're just trusting that visualization. And also remembering to smile if you can. So this doesn't have to be a serious process. The more that we smile or set the intention to be open and receptive, the easier it is to shift these energies from our body. And if anything else comes up, you might feel, oh yeah, that's a pull, that's probably a cord. You can cut that. Or if you feel that you want to create bigger space here, you can get that sun above your head and let it come in, or that egg, whatever is intuitively coming to you. It's almost like we get used to using these techniques and these tools, and we know what to use when those feelings arise. So I hope these have helped. I don't know if you can tell the difference in my eyes at this point, or perhaps my physiology looks a bit different in my face. For me, there's more energy going on, but I'll continue shifting that. I think if I keep piling on techniques, you know, it's best to learn one at a time anyway, but you can continue using that vacuum cleaner. Like eventually I would get there too. Vacuum cleaner, cutting cords, even using colour. So you might tune into an energy and just go, what colour would shift this? And whatever colour comes to mind first or in your body, you're covering that energy with that certain colour. And then by the end, it does take a little while. Like, it's not a quick process. For example, on the Monday morning, it took me about half an hour, but at the end of that half an hour, I was completely myself and able to enjoy my day. And Mark and I, my partner, had a day off, so we were able to enjoy that together, as opposed to maybe the alternative would have been kind of being cluttered and not quite myself. So I always find my days are much more enjoyable when I'm completely me and aligned and doing things because I personally feel them, not because I'm cluttered about the world around me. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something from this. I'll certainly find out by people's comments if you resonated with it or not. It definitely is a very specific topic, as I mentioned at the start of the blog. And if I was to do this at all logically, I would definitely go with something much softer and, commonplace, I guess. But I would love to be able to share with you the things that are actually going on in my life and the tools that I've learnt to cope with those things. So lots of love to you all, always, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.